All right, guys, the sub is going to show this video to help you review for your quiz. Okay, the quiz is not today, it's the next time you're together because I want you to have plenty of time to take the quiz. So that means you got to take really good notes today so that you can use them when she passes out the quiz next time you're together. So you're going to keep this worksheet and use it for the quiz next time you're together. So that'll either be Thursday or Friday. Okay, so take really good notes so that you can use it on the quiz. All right, I'm going to color code a little bit here. If we are looking for this little piece, we need to know something about this little piece, because right now we know this one is 35 in the big triangle and this one is 21 in the big triangle. So right down here, if this is 12 and the whole thing is 21, we can do 21 minus 12, which I'm thinking is 9, and that's this little piece. So now in the little red triangle, we have a 9 and an X. And in the big triangle, we have a 21 and a 35. So I could set up my proportion several different ways. I could say X is to 35 as, so I want little to big, 9 is to 21. All right. Or it's the same proportion if you did like in the little triangle, you decided to go X over 9 and then 35 over 21 in the big triangle. Okay. Because either way, you're cross multiplying X times 21. And there's other ways you could set it up as well. All right, so 9 times 35 equals 21x. So then I have to divide by 21. And let's see, 9 times 35 divided by 21. Yeah, that's not what I typed. Okay, let's try again. I got 15. All right, question number 2 is the angle bisector theorem, which is on page 50B in your ISN, if you wanted to know that. We're going to need to do some tricky business again. If we do 28 minus 8, we get 20, and that's this piece right in here. So now we're going to use this. Remember drawing the little arrows like this? So we're going to do 10 is to 8 as x is to 20. And you can set that up differently, again, but you do need to use the 20, not the 28. So then if I do 10 times 20, I get 200 equals 8x. If I divide both sides by 8, I get x equals, let's see, if I divide that by 4, I get 50, 25 maybe. Hopefully I did that right. All right. I'm going to give you a second to finish copying, but if I'm going too fast, you're just going to have to have somebody pause the video. Either a student can come up and do it or the sub can pause the video, okay? But you should be able to keep up here pretty well. All right, on problem number 3, you're going to have to kind of move some things around. You can either find this little piece first, okay? So you would do 6 is to 9 as 10 is to x. But then be careful at the end, they want you to add and find the whole question mark down here. That's probably the easiest way for me to explain this, so I'm going to go ahead and do it that way. So you would do 6 is to 9 as 10 is to x. Cross multiply and you get 90 equals 6x. Dividing both sides by 6, you get 15 equals x, I believe. Okay, but be careful, that's not what they asked for. If that's 15 right there, and they want this question mark, you want to take 9 plus 15, or 24 to get the question mark. All right. The alternate way to do that problem, guys, would have been to say the whole thing over here is 16, and there's a little piece here that's 6, and that little piece that's 6 matches up with a piece down here that's 9. In the same way that this whole thing down here was x. So you could have done 6 is to 9 as 16 is to x. And I get that 16 again by adding 10 plus 6. So you would have had 16 is to x as 6 is to 9. If you cross multiplied, you would have had 16 times 9 is 144 equals 6x, and 144 divided by 6 is 24. So you wouldn't have had to add at the end because you added at the beginning. Okay. Either way, be careful. Make sure you find the missing piece that they're asking for. All right, this is angle bisector theorem again, a nice easy one. It's all set up for us. We just do 10 is to x as 5 is to 4. Okay. Or you could have flipped them both over, done x is to 10 is 4 is to 5, etc. Cross multiply. 4 times 10 is 40, 5x, divide, and we get x equals 8. All right. Can pause again if you need to. Give you a second, but we should be going on to number 5. Oh, excellent. Number 5 is straight across again. We can do x minus 1 over 6 equals 6 over 4. The only thing tricky about this one is a little more algebra. So if we do 4 times the quantity x minus 1 and set it equal to 6 times 6, which is 36, we have to remember to distribute. Add 4, and divide by 4. Right, I got 10. If we plugged it back in, remember that length would be 9, but all it asks for is solve for x. Number 6 looks different because it's a triangle, but it's really exactly the same. They have parallel lines marked here, so we're just going to go straight across the parallel lines. There are other ways to do this. You could do 9 over x minus 7 equals 6 over 2, but I'm just going to go straight across. So x minus 7 is to 2, as 9 is to 6. All right, I'm going to go kind of quick because I think you guys can do the algebra on your own. 9 times 2 is 18. Add 42. Get 60. So x is 10 again. Sorry about the bells on the recording, guys. Everybody good? All right. Number 7 and 8 are angle bisector theorem again. These are the new concepts since we took a quiz. That's why they're on here so many times. All right, 6 is to 2x minus 11 as 10 is to 5 would be the way I would set that one up. You certainly could have done 2x minus 11 over 6 equals 5 over 10. All right, again, 10 is being multiplied down here by 2x minus 11. 6 times 5 is 30. If I distribute, add 110. And divide, I get 7. That's right, it checks. Okay. This one is very similar. We just have to start off with a little thing here. We have to find this piece. So if the whole thing over here is 6, we subtract 2 for that little chunk, we'll get 4 here. So then if we draw the little arrows from the angle bisector, we'll have 2x minus 6 is to 4, as 3 is to 2. Cross multiply. 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, be careful. This isn't 0 because we're adding 12 to get rid of this. So we end up with 4x is 24. Divide. Get x is 6. All right. Hopefully you have reviewed those concepts. But this quiz does cover some old stuff as well. So we need to review the ways to prove triangles are similar. Remember, there's 3 ways. We have side, side, side similarity. And to prove that, you would need to say something like A is to B, as C is to D, as E is to F, and you'd have to show me that those were all equivalent. So maybe this reduced to 0.7, 0.7, and 0.7, okay? If you were showing me side angle side similarity, you'd have congruent angles somewhere, and then on either side, you would have to have sides that were proportional, like A is to B, as C is to D. Again, divide it out on your calculator and maybe you get, 0.732, 0.732, they're equal. The other option is if you have all 3 angles similar, we actually call it angle-angle similarity. Okay, but just make sure that you check all 3 of them if you need to, if they give you numbers, because sometimes they try to trick you. All right, number 9. We're talking about the little red triangle and the big blue triangle out here. Okay. The little red triangle has a side of 17 and an angle at F and a side that we can find right here. Man, they're into tricky on this one. So if we did 77 minus 44, we'd get 33, and that's what this little piece is, okay? Lots of those kind of things on this quiz where you have to subtract pieces. All right, so now in this little red triangle, I have a 17, an angle here, and a 33 as the other side. In the big triangle, Over here going with the 17, I have a side that's 25 plus 17, which is 42, I think. So that matches up to the 17. In the same way that over here, this whole side was 77. Okay, I don't know if that's going to work. If I do 17 divided by 42, I get 0.4047. If I do 33 divided by 77, I get 0.428. Those are not equal, so these are not similar. All right. Number 10 is asking you to look at the little green triangle here and the big purple triangle here. You don't have anything given except these red marks that indicate parallel lines. If we have parallel lines, we have corresponding angles here, we have corresponding angles here, and both triangles have angle L, so we have all three angles congruent. We can write angle, angle similarity. Now, the last quiz, this did not go well for some reason, because you guys didn't pay attention enough to what's going on. You have to use the same order, okay? If they did the big triangle from L here, left to M, and up to N, you have to name the little triangle from the same corner L, left to E, and up to F, I think is what that says, okay? Be very careful. Lose points for something as easy as the way you go around the triangle. I believe, by the way, that this is on 48 in your ISN if you're looking for where to find this stuff. All right, number 11, okay. We have an angle that's congruent here, and then we need to check the sides. Well, there's two sides on this blue triangle that I know. We have a side of 20 and a side of 26. I'm going to put the shorter one first. If we go to the green triangle over here, on either side, we have a 30 and 39, either side of this angle, but we have to put the smaller one under the smaller one here, and the bigger one, 39, under the bigger one here. Then if I type 20 divided by 30, I get 0.666 repeating. If I type 26 divided by 39, I also get 0.666 repeating. They both end in a 7, doesn't matter, they're equivalent. So yes, these are congruent, or similar, not congruent. And what we used was two sides, and then they had vertical angles congruent. So we're going to write side, angle, side. It'll say by blank on your quiz. Right, then we do need to fill in the name, and you'll be super careful. The D was the congruent angle, so we can start there again. For the green triangle, we're going to start at D. Then they went down. Actually, we're doing the blue triangle, my bad. D, E, F. So they went up the shorter of the two sides here, D to E, the 30. That means we got to go down the shorter of the two sides this way. So D, B, C. Okay, D, B, C. They went around this way, this way. So we got to use the 20 and 30 to match up here. All right, and this is looking like we have all three sides on this one. So we're trying for side, side, side. I like to just put the sides in order, least to greatest. So on the little triangle, I have a 5, and then a 7, and then an 8. And on the big triangle, the smallest one is 50. The next smallest is 70, and the biggest one is 80. Some of you will notice right away that this is times 10 times 10 times 10. So if we put those in our calculator, we get 0.1, 0.1, and 0.1. They are all equal. So if the proportions are all equal, we did all three sides. So we're going to say these are similar by, on the quiz there'll be a blank, and you're going to write side, side, side similarity. All right, now we got to be careful. They started with the big triangle at L. L was between the 50 and the 70. So we need to start up here between the 5 and the 7 at C. But then they went to K, which was down the 70. So we're going to go down the 7 to B. And then they wound up at J, which is going to wind us up at A. Okay, so be super careful that you put those in order. Again, I really hated marking points off on the last quiz for that, but a lot of you didn't do that right. All right, I'm going to have you cross off 13 and 14. The ones on the quiz are much clearer about how the order of those match up, so I'm going to skip those. But I do need to review. There's going to be some more past this. Okay, but here's 15 real quick. We kind of already did some of this today. If we want to find this big piece, we're going to say it's proportional to the big piece over here. So 14x minus 2 is to 121. As the little pieces in here, 40 is to 44. Those are some big numbers. Okay, I'm going to need my calculator quick here. 40 times 121 is 4840. And the other way, I have 44 times 14x minus 2. 4840 equals 44 times 14 is 616x minus 88. They're painfully large numbers. If we add 88, I got 5456 equals 616x. If I divide, I didn't get a nice answer. Huh. I got 8.857, but let's see if I can figure out what I did. I don't think it should come out a decimal, at least not a messy one. Okay, 14x minus 2 is to 121 as 40 is to 44. 121 times 40 was 4840. Yeah, I have that it should come out 8. Okay, let's see where I messed up. 44 times 14 is 616. 44 times 2 is 88. 4840 plus 88. Oh, that's where I can't add. I don't know where I got that giant number over here. Okay. All right. That won't be my last mistake. 4928 is what I should have had here, guys. Sorry about that. And then when I divide it by 616, I get exactly 8. You probably already caught that and fixed it on your own paper. You guys are always quicker at the algebra than me. All right, sorry about that. Make sure you have that fixed so it comes out nice. All right, one more time. On this triangle up here, we have a 94 and a 94, and they're telling us in the directions they're similar, so we're going to take this little side 6 is to 12 as this 2x minus 4 is to 20. 2x minus 4 is to 20 as 6 is to 12. Big algebra again. 12 times 2x minus 4. 20 times 6 is 120. That's not so bad. If I distribute, see if I can do it without messing up this time. Add 48 to 120, get 168. 168 divided by 24 is 7. Okay. Again, be careful. I don't think there's messy decimals on the quiz. There might be a 0.5 or a 0.2, but not something really messy. All right, please don't put your paper away. There's 2 more things I want you to review. All right. 1, you might want to write this question down. I'll give you a minute, but it asks for the scale factor on a question. If you were given this picture and it asks for the scale factor of A to B, you can pick any set of sides that match up. You could say 3 is to 9, and that would be A to B. When it reduces, that's 1/3. So your A to B is 1/3. If you don't need to write all this down, but if you had picked 6 to 18 or 5 to 15, this still reduces to 1/3. Okay, so A to B, the scale factor would be 1 to 3. If they were to ask you B to A, I'm thinking one version of the quiz asked you to go the other way. B to A, you would have to take your arrow here and go this way. So you would say 9 is to 3, or 18 is to 6, or 15 is to 5. All of those divide to 3. That means this proportion, B to A, is 3 to 1. Okay, these are all 3 times as big on B as they were on A. That would be the B to A ratio. Okay, so just pick a set of sides that match up and reduce the ratio, A to B or B to A. Give you a minute. I'm thinking some of you are still trying to write. All right, guys, pause the video if you need more time, but I'm going to go and do the last question I have for you. There is a question like this, and I believe these are in your ISN on page 46, I think 46B. But I just wanted to do one example of the ratio questions. It says the sides of a triangle are in a ratio of 5 to 7 to 9, and the perimeter is 420. Well, guys, if I add 5, 7, and 9, that doesn't add up to 420. That's because they have been reduced by some quantity. They're not 5, 7, and 9. They're 5 times something, 7 times that same thing, and 9 times that same thing. But the perimeter means they still add up to 420. So 5x plus 7x plus 9x equals 420 would be 17x. I added that right? No, I didn't add that right, did I? How about 21x? That seems a little better. 12 and 9 is 21x. And then if we divide by 21, we get 20. Now, this is the trick at the end. Remember, it asked up here for the longest side. Okay. We have to put that 20 back in. So 5 times 20 is 100 centimeters on that side. 7 times 20 is 140 centimeters on that side, and 9 times 20 is 180 centimeters on that side. If we add all those up, they should add up to 420. Okay, you did not have to find all those. You could tell right away that 9x was the longest side, so you could have just done 9 times 20 and been done. But the answer should be that the longest side is 180 centimeters. All right, I messed that up a little bit because I drew the box over the one. It looks like 80. All right, guys, please, there's a worksheet for you to work on after this review for a little more practice, but and you can turn that one in, please. But this worksheet, this review, hang on to, keep it in your spiral until the day of the quiz. All right, behave for the sub. You can have candy. Bye, guys.